mambo ya national politics. Allow me to say that, as I have mentioned here, I've been in this church for many years. I was elected in 2007, immediately after the post-election. If there's anybody who knows the dangers of divisive politics, it is me. And I want to say that for all of us who are seeking different positions, let us not instill a narrative that may bring Kenyans against each other. I don't know whether we are communicating. You want to be a governor, you want to be an MP, you want to be a president, but don't be a president at the cost of your people or your country. The seeds of hate are easy to plant, but very difficult to uproot. It is very sad that we hold an election and for the next 3-4 years, we are still talking about elections. Then in the next 2 years, we are talking about the next election. So if we continue with this excessive politics, then our country is going to be left behind by our neighbors around here. We have many issues we need to be talking about, including unemployment, how our people can be empowered, how we can bring cohesion, and all those issues that are important for national development. When the time for politics comes, then those who want different positions can come. But excess politics at the cost of development is going to put us in an awkward place. So I want to end there. And for the people of Nakuru, just to assure you, I joined the cabinet 9 months. I cannot sit in a cabinet that does not put Kenya first. And you know, at the time when he got in, some of the things that were not so good, many of them are being corrected. And the few that have not been corrected, I want to assure you, we will correct them. Because it is our country and we have nowhere else to go. Many of the Kenyans who are here today, you know, even if you're in another country and you're not from that country, you're either a foreigner, a visitor, or a what? Immigrant, and all those issues. So the only place where you are, and that is your home, is where? Is where? Let us protect Kenya. Let us do what is good for the country. Positions come and go, but Kenya will always be. So I want to assure you, my eyes are open, and anything affecting Kenya and Nakuru, I'll be there, and I guarantee you, we not only are in the table where all the decisions are made, we also have the ear of the president, and if something is not right, even you as church leaders, you have an opportunity. And specifically for the Anglican Church, if you look at the architecture of all heads, even at the provinces, the church and the president's office are next to one another. It is that way in the State House in Nairobi. Even here, where the bishop is next to where the provincial commissioner was, meaning a conversation between government and church must always remain alive. So when dialogue is not there, things go wrong. But can we promise they will not allow them to go wrong? So I think my challenge to the church, we all have a role to make Kenya a better place. I am in charge of trade, investment, and industry, and I am happy to see the people in business giving this kind of good contributions. In Mzuri, isn't it? And we would want to improve that. But I know one problem we have been having. A lot of our business people have been complaining that there is no money in the economy. Is it true? And I think it is something we have had and we are working on it. About 1 year ago, the interest rates in the banks were at about 19 to 20%. Today, it has come down to around 12 to 13. We are hoping that in the next, maybe by January, we can be around 12%. What low interest rates mean is that more people can borrow to build a house. Therefore, the hardware people will get work. More can borrow to buy a plot. Therefore, we can get work for our young people to be able to work. So I think that's one area we are working together with the banks, and it is our responsibility to restore the economy so that our young people can have hope, and the scenes that we've seen in the past where young people are becoming hopeless can become a thing of the past. Secondly, on the broader economic issues, you are aware that there's a time the Kenya shilling to the dollar was going to 170, 180. In the last almost maybe 1 year or so, it has been at 128, 130, and it has remained there. What it means is that for the people importing whatever commodities they require, we have a stable economy. and we pray that this will continue, and we are already seeing good signs that the economy will be well. In my view, maybe what I would want to say, the economy is not like a car that you can just do a U-turn. The economy is like a ship. If you want to change the direction of a ship, you have to go a very long curve before you can come back. But the truth is, the curve has started. Lastly, for the people of Nakuru, and I think this is a message also from the president. One of the biggest challenges to the growth of Nakuru is our road from here to Nairobi. There are times at Gilgil we have spent nights. People who want to come here to visit our hotels over the weekend, they are not too sure whether they'll be able to make it the following day. So instead, they would rather go to Naivasha, go to Mombasa, and other places. I am happy that one of the legacy projects we are going to have in Kenya is going to be the Rironi-Mau Summit Road. Correct? This road, just because it is important for me to mention, currently it takes about 3 hours from Nairobi to Nakuru. But that 3 hours could easily be 4 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, or even one night. The moment we make it predictable that in 1.5 hours you are in Nakuru, all our hotels will be full. All the events will come here. So I just want to put you on notice, because I can see some of the business people here. Hizi broti zenyu za huku, they will double in value. Your hotels will be full. Those who are making food will have a place to sell, and Nakuru will gain in terms of value. So the president has put this as part of his core deliverables, and he has promised us before August 2027, this road should be nearing completion. Correct? Adwana Ikuru na Moigwa. Number 2, hii barabara inapita mpaka Mau Summit, which is just the junction to Kericho, which means all these areas are going to completely transform. So I know when some of these things are said, until they happen, people don't understand. But those who understand ahead of time are the ones who benefit. So, what to Nakuru? Don't you say that we didn't tell you that. From the 7th to the 9th, Kenya hosts the 24th COMESA Summit. And this summit brings together 21 countries that are signatories. And the core agenda of this meeting is to look at obstacles to trade within the region, and also to address emerging issues, including the current international issues that affect the continent. It's good to note that intra-Africa trade stands at 17%, and all member states are keen to enhance intra-Africa trade so that we can have products from one country being sold in the other. And just for the record, the intra-Africa trade is at 17%, while the intra-European trade is at 70%. So that explains why there is wealth in some of those continents, whereas we find poverty, unemployment, and many others here. So we don't want a situation where we have produced excess milk, say in Nyandarua, and we are pouring it, while another member state could buy that milk. Or grains from Ethiopia could be bought instead of us going from far and wide, and in return, Kenya can also be able to sell their tea or any other commodity to any of the member states. So the conversation is, as the global trade issues become complicated, what can we do in terms of local solutions? And I think COMESA is one example of how we can have a local solution to our challenges. It's also important to note that His Excellency President William Ruto will be taking charge as the chairperson of COMESA. And now this will again be another huge platform to address not just Kenya, but regional trade issues that continue to affect the 21 countries. One of the things to note is the interborder, cross-border trade. For example, if you're moving from here to Malawi, how many borders do you need to go through? How long does it take for you to go from one border to the other? And as long as our borders remain closed and very difficult to penetrate, as long as we have these non-tariff barriers to trade, then trade will continue to be low. So this is a conversation between the member states on how we can be able to open the region, and more importantly, how members can be able to benefit. And as we said, from the Kenya perspective, we do export a lot of textile and apparel to the US and many other of the European markets, but the sale of the same within the region remains low. So these are some of the areas we would want to see. Of that, what can we be able to sell within the market? And we have invited some of our factories in clothing, textile and apparel to be able to participate and showcase their products for the purpose of looking for alternative markets as we move forward. Thank you.